5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go down.
I'm gonna take and point it over a little bit more over here. Well, geez, you look mighty fine.
Indeed.
We'll see if anybody's gonna be popping on here to check out what we're doing today.
Hey, we got one person saying hello.
Got somebody saying hello.
Andre.
Cool. Andre's in the house. We're doing a special edition live from the job site. I think it looks better. There we go.
Hey,
we got
look
some
at
people
that.
showing up
Derek Gray. EC decorating.
at an unannounced time. Here we are. And just gonna see if anybody's got, wow, got a bunch of the people that I see all the time. See Family Man all the time. Super Woody Boy, you see him
Nice.
quite a bit. Andre, I think Andre had questions about winning something last time. Hopefully we got you taken care of, Andre. I think you had some questions about whether you got your product or not. We'll give some people a little bit of time to pop on. This is an unannounced live show from
Surprise.
Tamarack, Idaho. We're sandblasting, vapor blasting a cabin right here, right behind us. So today's live topic is going to be, this is what we're blasting with today. We're blasting with an EcoQuip, a Graco EcoQuip. And we're, what do we use? We're blasting this cabin with
Glass.
Glass.
Yeah, crushed glass.
We're using crushed glass to blast this cabin on the other side. Maybe in a minute I'll grab the camera and walk it over there. You can see this is what the almost finished product looks like, but we're going to be answering questions today using the Graco EcoQuip and sandblasting, vapor blasting, and we're up here staining cabins. So
Lots of cabins.
we're up here staining lots of cabins. We've been up here for like a week now, so we got a lot of people popping on. So it's kind of cool, unannounced live show. It's 2:20 here in
We're
Donley,
Donley.
Idaho.
Not Boise anymore.
Yeah, I just had my stents taken out of my sinuses, but I still I still sound weird. So I just got back. I had to go to Boise to have those taken out. So we've got Jenny Tootin. Tootin was on. I think she was on the last show. Kind of cool. David Zapper's on. Let's see.
Ooh, you've got a fan named Ian Johnston.
Ian Johnston.
Yeah.
Where's
He's
that
got-
one?
he's got-
Oh,
he's
right
got
there.
a man crush on you.
How funny. Love your work, Chris. Thank you very much, Ian. So, man, even after getting those stents out, I don't feel so so hot. Dan, greetings from DC Paint Company in Kansas City. We're up here in Donley, Idaho. Let us know where you're at. We'll be getting started here answering questions here pretty soon. So give us, just throw a little thing on here where you're from. If you got a painting company, we'll give a shout out to your painting company too. I see I got the business manager, office manager, Lisa is in the house. She's here to manage things. She's back home. See, I can't get to the computer to work, but just got you. That's, well, not sure what that means.
That'll work.
Got Alex, says hey. Got Derek Gregg. I think, so today, because we're up in Donley, my co-host today is the co-host from our last live show. We got John, my supervisor here. If you didn't see the last live show, you got to go check it out because John answered all kinds of questions using HVLP sprayers. He's the expert, so it was kind of cool. It's a good live show. Our numbers were, I think that was the best numbers we'd had so far for a live show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Family Man, let's see what he says. Staining doors at the front of Olympic Cascades is in Belfair, Washington. Belfair, Washington is where the Family Man's at. Lubbock, Texas is in the house. So we got Total Project 23. Rick Washek, hey, is Bear Paint working out? So we'll let we'll both answer. I'll let John speak to it. So if any of you haven't seen or don't follow my Instagram, I posted out there a picture or a little video of us using Bear Paint. So about 10 years ago, I had a really bad experience using Behr paint, and so I've said a lot of negative things about it, and and I started thinking maybe that's unfair, and so we just recently painted a whole house with Behr paint because the customer was adamant it'd be painted with Behr, and so it was a good opportunity to shoot some video, got some video using it, and a good opportunity to possibly change my opinion on Behr paint. And I gotta say, my opinion hasn't changed a whole lot. But so John was spraying it, and
Yeah.
what do you think?
You know, it sprayed really well. The way it sprayed reminded me of how Emerald, Sherwin-Williams Emerald sprays. Kind of, it just comes out really smooth, really silky. But when it came time to start applying anything with a brush or a roller, it just felt really watery, splattered a lot, really, really, really bad coverage. And you know, it's always hard to say, is it going to last for more than 2 years? It is their lifetime warranty paint, so that's always a little hard to say if you'll get the same kind of quality that you will from a manufacturer like Sherwin-Williams or
Lifetime warranty and self-priming, those are good qualities. And for me, it's still the biggest complaint I had about it before was it running, even when sprayed. But John sprayed it. I don't think you had problems with it running, did you?
No, not really problems with it running. It sprayed really well. It was easy to spray, came out nice. The dust was relatively easy to control.
It was very quiet when it sprayed. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I used it a little bit during the day, and I know it still has a tendency to run really easily, but I didn't use it that much, so I went around asking my guys individually, which I'll be posting some of those pretty cool comments on Instagram, but that was the number one complaint with the guys was it running. They were brushing and rolling it, doing the trim. So one of the reasons why we were doing this live show in the middle, kind of in the middle of the day here, was I wanted to see if the people, because I got a lot of fans and followers in other parts of the world, and I wanted to see if, or give them an opportunity to see the live show, because I know it's like in the middle of the night for some of them. And I see we got Billy Devlin from Ireland.
Nice.
Popped in the house. So we got somebody from Ireland here. So it's kind of cool. Let's see, we got some Sugarland, Texas. Laura Adams showed up. XC Painter, he was on last time.
Whitaker Decorative Finishes there in the UK.
So we got another person from the UK. Shout out to Whitaker Decorative Finishes. Cool. Thanks for showing up. So maybe it is working. Maybe the live show is in the middle of the day. It's going to give people an opportunity from other parts of the world to show up. Let's see, we got, let's see. Total Project. I love watching your videos. They inspire me to paint something that's really cool. So thank you very much, Total Project. We got Josh Hagan. So if you got any questions, we're kind of cruising in. We got a bunch of people showing up now. Today we're going to give you the opportunity. Here it is. This is the Graco EcoQuip, and this is a vapor blaster, and it mixes water with the media that you're using to blast. We got a log cabin right here. You can see the wood right here. All this was almost pure black with multiple coats and a lot of, I would say, like mildew or blackening underneath. I'm not sure what causes it to just turn almost pure black, but we started vapor blasting it with this. This is a brand new EcoQuip. We just got it. We brought it up here. John and I had never used the thing before and figured out how to use it pretty fast. And so we'll answer any questions. Since I posted just Instagram videos on this, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you got to go check it out. We were doing a bumper, messing around, cleaning the bumper on one of the vans, and then we started doing some jobs. We got 3 jobs up here we're using it on, and it's kind of cool. This thing, I think, is going to make a lot of money. So if you're interested in purchasing one of these things to broaden your painting company, it's a great opportunity to make some really good money. So I think, so what do you think? How easy was it to use, John?
Super. If you're familiar at all with an airless sprayer, it's similar to that. I mean, it's not going to be much more complicated than that. You've got your material in, you've got a couple of adjustments you're going to make. I'm sure every substrate's going to be a little bit different. Every media is going to be a little bit different. That'll take some adjusting and some fine tuning, but piece of cake to get going.
Yeah, I was extremely surprised at how easy this was to use, and I guess the one way to describe it is we're both journeyman painters, but we figured out how to use this thing, relatively fast. In a few, I'd say, a couple hours, you can figure out how to use it. and then you can train your crew really fast how to use it, and then you don't have to have journeyman painters operate this thing. You can send out a couple apprentice painters, and they can start blasting and making you money without having to pay an expensive journeyman painter to do the job. So it's really, really cool. I did notice that on here, because we're having this thing in the middle of the day, hoping other people from other countries are going to pop in. We've got bum leg prods from Cody from England is in the house. So nice. That's really cool. We got somebody from England, which is the reason why I bring that up is July 4th, my wife and I are heading to England, London, England, to go visit Lucas Pro Tools. And John, we've been testing out the $100 paintbrush from Lucas Pro Tools.
It's a pretty cool brush. It's a good brush.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's literally $100. And so we're going to check out Lucas Pro Tools, visit them, and see how the brushes are made and learn about how painting is done in England. So it's pretty cool. Cody, we're going to see how you guys paint over there. So what do you think of the $100 brush, John?
It's a good brush. You know, yeah, you could probably get paint up with just about any brush, but to have a brush that does the work well, it's pretty cool to have. I like the action on the bristles. I like how much paint it holds. I like how easily it cleans. Whatever bristles they've picked out. I know they hand-picked all the bristles, and it took a long time for them to figure out what bristles they wanted to put, but the thing cleans like it's been coated in silicone.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Cool. And that's one of the things that really stands out in my mind too, that thing, how fast that thing cleans up faster, and three times as fast as any brush I've ever seen. It's pretty amazing. So it's the Lucas Pro Tools brush. Kind of cool. So they have an Instagram. They didn't have one, and I encouraged them to get an Instagram, and they got it taken care of, and they got some pretty cool pictures on their Instagram now.
That looks good.
We got John Hughes from the UK. So nice. We've got more people from the UK. Curious where you guys are from, England, UK over there. I'm heading to, I believe, London. London is where we're heading to. So curious if any of you are over there in the area where we're going, it'd be cool to meet up with you, have a cup of coffee or an England beer. Like
warm beer?
Is it? They drink warm beer over there? I've
heard it's warm. That's a little weird, guys.
Do you guys drink warm beer over there in the UK and England? That's kind of weird. I don't know if I could do that. So if you got any questions, we're also staining. So we've been up here staining using semi-transparent stains and solid color stains. So if you have any questions staining houses, staining wood, you can fire off your questions to John or I. Let's see, here we go. How do you pick up all that broken glass after blasting?
It looks just like sand. So it's not like there's broken bottles all over the house when you're all done. It literally looks like sand. We've got a bag back there. We've got some
you can grab
sand.
I don't know if you can
left over there. It looks just like sand.
So it's in the dirt here, and when we're all done with this place, because there's going to be quite a bit, because this is taking a lot of blasting, I just plan on taking a rake and just raking it right into the dirt, and then once the grass and stuff like that starts growing, because we've kind of trampled the grass around and stuff, once the grass kind of pops up and stuff, I don't even think you would even notice it. We don't have a whole lot of experience with that because it's all brand new to us, but we were told that you just rake it into the dirt.
Yeah, I suppose you could put some really thin drop cloths down, something that the water could kind of soak through, and you could wrap it all up and get rid of it like that if it was necessary on a job. But so far to what I've seen, it doesn't leave a huge mess, and most of it's just going to go right into the dirt anyways.
Yeah, and so this type of blaster right here, the EcoQuip blaster versus dry blasting, it adds water to your media, and this thing can use more. We're using glass right now, but we were messing around with the garnet on the bumper.
Yep.
And so there's a bunch of other medias. What medias can we use?
This can do the glass and the garnet, some walnut.
Hopefully I didn't mess up our live show. Are we back live again?
We're back again.
Hopefully.
Commercial break.
The phone just rang. I wonder if did anybody out there notice that? It shows it's live again. Yeah. I guess if Lisa's out there, she can let us know. I know she's out there. She's helping us answer questions right now. Cool. So I think you probably should call Reagan from this phone.
I'll be right back.
Here, you can just call right there. And one of our employees, we're up here working, and we got 9 of us that are working right now. So wow, there's some guys, we sent him to another job site to paint some fence posts, a solid color stain, and he's calling right now. So we don't want him to mess things up. But so yeah, once again, if you got, we'll go over some of the stuff that we're using right here. If you're gonna be on for a while, you could. So here's, while he's taking care of business here, once we started doing this, the very first thing, with no experience using this thing, we started blasting, and one of the things we noticed, you're definitely going to need eye protection and something to protect your whole face. You could use, we purchased eye protection, just individual eye protection like this, but you want something to cover your whole face, because we're definitely feeling a lot of the kind of little pin pricks as the stuff would hit us in the face, is deflecting off the log cabin. So we got these are what we use, or used to use, we don't use them anymore, but doing lacquers right here. And this is a full face mask and respirator, because there's a lot of this, like if you look in the sunlight and stuff, you're gonna see a lot of stuff in the air and stuff, and it's just kind of not, it's mixed with vapor and stuff, but if you throw some of the sand up in the air, you can see kind of fine dust and stuff like that, or sand, the glass. You don't want to be breathing that stuff, so we're using a respirator, and then we've got a hood over our head, or we're using a t-shirt or something like that just to keep the stuff off of our heads. So you definitely want a full face respirator, to guard your face and stuff. So that was kind of a learning curve. And then the blaster, using the glass, it's not very loud, but when we're using the garnet is really loud, and so you definitely want to use some hearing protection. We've purchased hearing protection that we're using. We're doing it. We've got the EcoQuip is powered by. I've been getting some questions. What is the thing? Is it powered by? And it's powered by an air compressor, and we're using a 185 CFM air compressor, and it's just sitting right over here. I'll move my camera so you can see it, and it's sitting right there. That's the air compressor we're using right there, and it's just a tow behind, and my truck is right over there. So we're just using my truck to tow the thing around. So that's a 185 CFM air compressor. Let me fix my camera so everything looks straight, so I don't look crooked, this is the whole thing. You've got the EcoQuip right here. The thing weighs about, everything pretty cool? We're good? Hey, we're all good. We're back with your guys' streaming questions on the phone. That was kind of interesting. That's, see, we're just, on the fly. We're just doing it all. Live shows, running the crew.
That's right.
So what was the problem?
We got to find the work site. If you want to do the job, you got to be able to get to the job.
For goodness sakes.
That's okay.
That's right. I never did text them the address.
That's okay. We're figuring it out.
All they got to do is look for the big house on the lake.
That's okay.
So I was just talking about the air compressor. We're using a 185 CFM air compressor, and that's what powers the thing. It's powered by the air, and then it also uses water. The media is dumped in right here, whatever media you're using. And there's, I think you talked a little bit about the media. I heard you can use, somebody told you can use corn husk to blast, but I don't think you can use it in here.
If you go to a supplier, they've got all sorts of different stuff, and they can kind of let you know what you can put in. I don't think you can use soda for soda blasting in this, but I'm not even totally sure about that. Like Chris said, we're still figuring things out and kind of learning what to do with it and all of what we can do. So
yeah, so so John brought up soda blasting. So when it comes to blasting, there's different abrasives, and depending on what you're blasting, if you want to, you don't want to be too abrasive because it's going to etch the surface, or you want it to be more abrasive to etch the surface. For instance, like if you're blasting metal and you need to etch it to, paint over it, you're going to want something very abrasive like a garnet. But soda, so John brought up soda. Soda is a very non-abrasive media, and we've been told you can do blasting with soda, but when I went down there to look at possibly purchasing some, they said because this thing uses water, they said you couldn't use soda. But we're not entirely sure yet because we're learning learning this process.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
kind of cool. See, full face is very safe. Yep, I think we learned the full face is the only
That's
way to
the
go.
way to go. Yeah.
Let's see, how do you protect the doors and windows using that? So that's a very good question. How do you go about protecting doors and windows, and how do you keep your media or glass and stuff like that from getting inside the house? And so we learned that. So what do we do?
So for us, what we've been doing is we'll mask windows or doors off typically like we would if we were spraying with an airless sprayer. But then you know, you've got a lot of really great control. So it's not like it's just blowing stuff everywhere. Depending on the size of your nozzle, you can actually feather that in really close to what you're doing. And then what we've decided on is, if we need to, we will run duct tape around the whatever surfaces we don't want to get hit, if we've got to come right up against something that we don't want blasted. Beyond that, we're just sealing with plastic to help keep some of the dust and vapor air.
Yeah, and a good question right behind John, in this window right here, we blasted. We had that mask with just regular 3M masking film that goes, that we would just use masking like an interior exterior of a house, and we just used a 1-inch 3M 2020 tape, which is not meant to be blasted like that. It stayed on, never came off, and you can see the window trim, how much control you have right there, that it never, the painted part of the wood trim, when I was blasting that, it didn't even, I had that much control that I could work around that window trim, and it's amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we blacked out. There's your wife again.
Ta-da.
I gotta remember to push the button. So we got Family Man Clan gave a super chat. Thank you very much, Family Man. How can I grow a superior, sexy beard like John? Does he use essential oils to maximize his girth?
You know, it's got to be just the paint, and all the paint in the air, and that must be what does it.
Thank you for whoever sends us the super chats. We thank you very, very much for, providing your hard-earned money and stuff. I totally understand. I mean, we work hard for, everybody. If you got a job, you're working, every dollar you got to go earn. It's very much appreciated when you help support our channel and support us through the super chats. So thank you very much, Family Man. Hopefully John answered your question.
That's all I got for you.
Super Woody Boy, is it wise to use a clear waterproofer under the stain for log cabin, I think he meant coating, for preservation? So a clear waterproofer, I've never even heard of doing something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that. I know like the USDA has a publication out that'll tell you the different kinds of wood and whether it's best to use an oil-based product or a water-based product if you're trying to treat that wood, depending on how the wood's made up. The purpose of the stain is to actually stain the fibers of that wood, and if you seal that wood, it's never going to stain it. Now you're just glazing it, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody's got any, once again, we're here live with our Graco EcoQuip. We're sandblasting a log cabin here. We're going to be going and doing an ironwood deck today using number 70 glass. We had a log cabin that the other day had some black soot all over it from a chimney, and John blasted that and it worked amazing.
Yeah, look brand new underneath. Took a couple of coats to get the stain color back up to everything else that was around it, but looked like it had never even happened.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And a fraction of the time it would have taken to sand that all day.
Yeah, we would have been sanding that for half a day with palm sanders and stuff, and I think what'd you take, 10 minutes?
15 minutes at the
15
most.
minutes,
Yeah.
Versus a half a day with 2 guys with palm sanders. So it's an incredible piece of equipment, very versatile and very easy to use. So we're answering questions on the Graco EcoQuip that we just got up. We're going to be setting up a I don't want to say sand blasting, because Graco informed me that this is not a sand blaster. They informed me that I didn't spell Graco right, so it's not Grayco, but actually Siri made that mistake when I did it.
Bad.
Siri's bad. It's Graco, Graco, and it's a vapor abrasive blaster, not a sand blaster. So I've got to get that ingrained in my head that what this thing is. It's not a sand. I would think like a traditional sand blaster is probably a dry blaster.
It's just a dry blaster. It'd be sand with air powering it, and there's a couple different kinds of vapor blasters. Well, there's not. There's vapor blasters, and then there's other wet blasters that'll add water in at different stages. But this actually mixes the water and the media together before it sends it through the hose.
So I think there was one person, sent a comment out here. See if I can see that soda was a non-abrasive blast media, which we learned at. It's kind of cool. If any of you have used any blasting equipment, or especially the Graco EcoQuip, let us know. Put it down here in the comments, and because we're new to this thing, and any help that you can offer would be kind of cool. So if you got any tips or tricks using this, or if we're doing it all wrong, just let us know. It's actually worked really, really well for us so far. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple piece of equipment. Up here we have, you can explain what we got here, John. We got a few just settings and dials. Explain how we set this thing up.
Yeah, so you've got air that comes in on this side, and then this nozzle over here. This is where your blast hose is coming out of. You've got a dead man switch control down here. It's all pneumatically controlled. A couple of gauges. One's going to tell you what your air pressure supply is, and one's going to tell you how much is actually going to the blast gun. You've got a real simple on-off switch it'll switch it to wash, so you've just got water coming out, similar to what a power washer would do, except it's instead of pressurizing the water, it's using air to get that water out with some force. Off, and then blast, which will start sending the abrasives or the media down through the blast hose. And then you've got your blast air regulator, so that's going to control how much air is going to your blast nozzle. And then you've got your abrasive regulator, which is going to adjust how much abrasive you're sending out of the pot through the blast hose. Really simple.
Very, very simple and easy to use. Today I got from Hyde. Hyde sent me a whole bunch of stuff. They're sending me some sanders to give away. I think they're powered sanders. They're sending me 10 of them to give away. But they sent me the scrapers that we discovered here recently that work really, really well. I'm going to be giving some of those away. And to two winners today, we'll have Lisa, my lovely business manager, marketing manager, select 2 winners today. We'll do one here fairly soon. We'll see what time it is. I don't have the laptop here to see what time it is, but we'll here in about 10 minutes or so give some, and I'll show them. They're in my truck. I'll run over there in a second, show you what we're gonna be giving away today. So I'll give away 2 Hyde tools to each person, and I think I'll throw in a Paint Life t-shirt too. Let's see, we got XC Painter, same as my nickname. Let's see, good question. Somebody said good question. Oh, Phil Godfrey is in. He's, does any of the abrasive material get trapped into your substrate, which would cause your paint coating to peel or lift? That's a very good question.
I suppose it potentially that could be the case. I suppose it would depend on the substrate. Obviously, this. We're on a roll.
Interruption.
It's not a perfectly smoothed out log, so it's got all the knots and features, and there's still some bark left over on parts and pieces. It's like a really rustic looking log cabin. There probably is going to be some sawdust or some wood dust or some abrasive left in there. When we're done, we're washing it all off. You can blow it off with just an air setting on this to get it off. But you're probably not going to get it all 100% out. Is that going to cause the paint to fail? I'd be pretty doubtful, especially with a stain. If you're going to be putting a stain on here like you properly should be, that probably isn't going to be an issue. You might have a couple of spots here and there where you have to do some maintenance on it, but I wouldn't foresee that being a problem.
I don't. To me, I don't foresee it being a problem. What we did, what the capability of this machine is, we were doing our blasting with our glass, and then when you're done, we got a little fly. That's crazy. Well, wasps, and I'm allergic to them. When we were done doing the blasting, it has a setting. You just turn it to wash, and it kind of like turns it into a power washer with super high pressure, and then we just washed it down really well, and now things really dry. And if you look at it really close, there's some little pieces of glass here and there and stuff, And I don't think it's going to cause any type of adhesion issue. When you start to spray and then back brush this thing, you're going to be back brushing it really well and stuff. But you could go to the extent, once it dries, you can have an air compressor and blow it off too if you wanted to even get it more clean. Now, one thing I did learn or hear when I was down talking to, that'd be Reagan, when I was talking to him about media and what media to use, one of the options is walnut shells to blast the logs with. And one of the things the guy told me, if you don't clean the walnut shells and blast and power wash it or blow it off really good, the walnut shells are organic and they could mold and mildew. So that's could be one of the drawbacks to using walnuts. But
do all of the posts have them?
I know up here the log cabins, there's just one person that does blasting up here, and they use just glass and walnuts and stuff on them. And I don't think that the walnut shells has been an issue with them, mildewing or molding with any of the cabins we've ever seen. But we used the glass. One thing with the walnut shells is the cost of them was quite a bit more. It was about 50% more money for walnut shells versus glass. And then the glass, what we were told, works faster and is, could be, a little bit more efficient, but the walnut shells is way bulkier too. So if you needed just say 5 bags of glass, they were telling me you're going to probably need 8 bags of walnut shells. So you're going to have to, have a bigger truck or something, depending on the size of your building, to carry and transport, all the shells. So or your bags of media. So what was the deal with the post?
Just a quick question.
Yo.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Another quick question for the crew is out there. Without the bosses around, there's all kinds of questions. So let's see. We got Ian Johnson. He's from the UK, Ireland. I'd love to go to Ireland. That would be pretty cool. Finding it hard to get a hide cardboard shield in the UK, Ireland. The cardboard shield holders, I've talked about those, and you've seen them a lot in my video. The ones we like by far the very best is the craft one, because the craft one, the cardboard shield holder adjusts without having to use a wing nut. And I sell them in my tool store. And so, that's the only place you can get them. Paint stores don't even sell them. So when I want one, I have to purchase them from my tool store, and I just purchased 5 of them the other day. So Ian, hopefully you can check out my tool store and get them from my tool store, which is on my website, theidahopainter.com. If you guys don't know, I got a website, theidahopainter.com, where I offer free email, or not free, but paid email support, paid phone support. I got a bunch of other helpful hints, tips and tricks, how to paint and stuff like that on my website. I'm giving away a Titan airless sprayer. I know I need to say that. Haven't said that today. Giving away a Titan airless sprayer. It's gonna be given away soon. My subscribers are going up fast. I'm giving away, when I hit 100,000 subscribers, a Titan 440 impact sprayer. They're awesome sprayers. We have about 8 of them, 8 or 9 of them, I think. Had one of them a couple of them for 15 years or so. So you could win one of those things, but you have to go to my website, theidahopainter.com, to enter to win. Let's see, I have a pro video editor now, so the vids are going to take a big jump. So I think, he's XC Painter. I think you're the one that he was saying he had a channel, YouTube channel, with some videos on there. He's my competition now. The XC Painter. I'm gonna have to block you. Have to block you because you're my competition now. No, I'm still. It's awesome that he's XC Painter apparently started his own YouTube channel doing painting. Is it painting videos?
Yeah, it's always good to see how different. I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to put an architectural coating up. So. I'm
not the only painter out there, not the only painter that can teach people, so it's kind of cool. Hopefully, he learns something from my videos and stuff, and it'll help him out. So keep watching my videos. He's on my live show. I haven't noticed to see what his name was, but does it cost? So John Burke had just, does it cost? I'm not sure if he's asking how much this thing right here, the unit itself.
How much does that thing cost.
Okay. How much Ford, that is that? So probably asking how much this thing costs. I think you looked it up, how much it cost.
Yeah, I want to say I saw $12,000.
Somewhere between 11. I've heard, from the Sherwin-Williams store manager, Rex Ellis, one of my favorite store managers ever. He's amazing. So Rex looked it up for me, and I think it was the retail was 11,000. I think is what he looked.
Yeah, it's a pretty penny, and then when you add the air compressor in there too.
How much is the air compressor? You looked it up.
If you're gonna buy an air compressor used, you can probably get one that has a couple thousand hours on it for $4,000 to $6,000. Brand new, it's gonna be another $12,000 to $14,000. So we're talking about a pretty big investment, but the return on the investment for this kind of equipment, I think, is pretty significant. I think it would pay for itself really, really fast.
Yeah, and I'll confess right now that the way I've been saying this, the money, I didn't buy it. So it's $11,000, but I didn't pay for it. So Graco sent it to me for free, but I didn't. They wanted me to test it out and stuff, but I'm not paid by Graco. Graco's never paid me a dime to promote their products or say anything good about it. All they did was they shipped me this thing and asked me to use it and give them my opinion about the thing. So, which is very nice of Graco, very thankful. So even though I didn't invest the money, I know like 11, so it'd be about $11,000 for this unit, and you can get one of those air compressors. I think you said about 5,000.
Yeah,
or so.
Usually you can pick a used one up. Search Craigslist, some auction sites, some places like that. You could probably find an old city unit or something that someone's getting rid of for a couple $1,000.
And so to give you an idea, so if you invested 11,000 on this and you invested say 5,000 on one of those units or the air compressor, but if you even bought one new that was somewhere around 11,000, 12,000, you'd have $22,000 invested into this thing. We ran the numbers just on this cabin right here, and how fast you can, if you started this up and started doing this full time, you could make your money back fast. I mean, what?
Yeah, so we were crunching some production rate numbers and things like that, and you want to talk numbers on it?
Go ahead.
So there's, for this place, if we were to charge what? $3,000 for it, $3,500.
I would be probably around, to do this cabin, I think I would have been like $3,500.
Yeah, so we're about $3,500. We're going to use about $400 worth of materials. We're at $3,100, right? The production rate is going to be about 5 hours total by the time we blast it and by the time it all gets cleaned up. So if you even average that out, so let's say a big number, let's say $100 an hour, there's $500. So now you're at $2,600, and that's walking away. Your materials are paid for, your labor's paid for, and you've walked away from the job. There's not, I mean, you're going to have, if you're a painter, you've already got drop cloths, you've already got some ladders, you've already got some masking supplies. You can add in a percentage to account for your cost on that, but with a profit margin like that, it really doesn't take long to pay this equipment off.
I mean, it would be a great investment, and I think I finally convinced the boss. I was just telling John, she gave me the okay to buy an air compressor.
There we go.
So we're going to buy an air compressor, and we are going to have a blasting crew. So a two-man blasting crew, so it's kind of cool. I noticed, so we started this live show. A lot of you, maybe never, I've seen some new names on here, maybe never seen us live because of the time and stuff, but I've noticed, and so we did this live show earlier, hoping that we'd give an opportunity for other people, other parts of the world besides the United States to pop on, and I saw there's somebody from Poland that popped on, somebody from Armenia popped on.
Nice.
So I've never seen so many people from other parts of the world stop on or hop on the live show, so I think it's working. It's kind of cool, giving other people opportunity to jump on our show. So, and for any of you that popped on recently, we're going to be giving away a giveaway here. I'll do one here pretty soon, some Hyde tools, and Hyde sent me some sanders we'll be giving off. Hopefully, I don't know if I need to make any other announcements. If you don't follow us on Instagram, we got some pretty cool Instagram stuff we threw out there, 30-second videos and stuff you can learn from and stuff that's just kind of fun. But follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. Instagram is Idaho Painter. Facebook is The Idaho Painter. Go check us out there. You can get find tips and tricks that you can't find on YouTube on my videos. So it's kind of cool. Got Eric Wellen. I wish Graco would send me free stuff. I gotta say I was very surprised. They sent it to me, and I didn't know they were gonna give it to me. So they sent it to me to test and everything. And I thought it was just gonna be, and I was gonna have to ship it back to them. And I called them and asked them, what was gonna happen with this thing, and they said I can have it. So I'm very grateful to Graco for providing this thing. It's been a new toy for us, and it's been pretty dang cool using. And I know we brought up the numbers, how much we charge for this cabin right here, and so some people might have a question. It's my cabin, so that's why I said how much I would charge. So because I didn't have to charge myself for it. So. But we figured out that I did some asking around there's one other person up here that does blasting in this area, and there's nobody else. And so,
but even beyond, we're in Idaho, there's cabins everywhere. And so there is kind of a niche in our region where this would be pretty successful. But even beyond that, we've been talking, we're always doing awnings or decks or houses that have wood lap siding, and to be able to take the prep to the next level, the ability to do that and walk away and feel way better about the job, and then provide a service that not every other painter in the area is going to be able to provide, and it'll look awesome, brand new when it's all done, rather than going through that process of having to scrape and sand and all of that, and it still not look like it's brand new.
Yeah. So and right now you can see the back of this thing is stripped, and I see somebody, XC Painter, put some Sikkens log and siding on that. So that's a very good question. I called down to Sherwin-Williams the other day, because we don't have up here in McCall and Donley, this whole area, there's one paint store, and that's Sherwin-Williams. So there's not a lot of options of what we can use on logs, and I was calling around and stuff, and just to find out if there's even better options than what I know about, because I don't know every product that's ever been produced on the market. So if any of you have experience doing log homes, what we use up here, what I was going to use on here is Woodscapes semi-transparent stain, and we've had really good success with the Woodscapes semi-transparents and solid colors. But hey, it's my log cabin, so I want to put the very best on it, whether it's Sherwin-Williams or not. So if you have any recommendations, let us know here on the live show. Just say, hey, this has worked for me or whatever. I'm gonna go grab a couple of those tools to give away. You can scroll through here and look at some questions.
Going on here. I'm a professional painter. How do you find extra time to do all this social media stuff? It helps that Chris is a freak of nature, and I don't think he sleeps at all. He just works and plays, and the guy just go. But he's a pretty cool dude. Sikkens, water-based. We used Sikkens before on one cabin. It looked really good when it was done. One thing that I'm a little skeptical with the Sikkens is that anytime you use Sikkens, you have to use Sikkens the very next time around. And I know that has to do with how it bonds, but it's to me that it just kind of raises a red flag. What happens if something else pops on? What if someone doesn't know that they're Sikkens and they put something else on, and you get yourself into a mess further on down the road?
So
That's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the goose
That's
neck?
that's one of the best. There's not a lot of new inventions that come along in painting. This thing is awesome.
We had I had to go home for my sinus to have my sinuses taken care of, and I had a couple more boxes. People sent me some stuff, and I had some pretty corny stuff sent to me again. It's amazing some of the stuff people invent. But this is crazy. This is one of the most amazing paintbrushes ever, and this thing bends. I'm going to give away. This is the gooseneck Richard paintbrush from Hyde. It bends. This thing is so cool, and it hooks on an extension pole. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to give away right now. Lisa, my lovely business manager, officer manager, she can fire off a winner here. We're going to give away one of the Hyde sent me a bunch of their taping knives. This guy's the master taper over here, and he's the one that does all the drywall repairs. I do some of them and stuff, but John does the really difficult hard ones. They sent me I think you've seen them. But they sent me, and here's the crazy scraper, the Hyde X2 scraper. There's this crazy story about this, and I got a video on it, but I've always thought these things were the corniest things, and I would never try one because I just thought they're kind of just dumb. And we always used 5-in-1 tools, and we were painting a house this year just a few months ago, and we're doing a lot of scraping, and we're using our 5-in-1s, and one of these things was, I don't think it was this brand, but it looked just like it. It may have been this brand, but it was in the gutter up on the second story of the house, in the gutter. So a previous painter that previously did it was using it, and so I grabbed it, and it had obviously been up there for quite a few years, and I grabbed the thing and started scraping with it, and I was absolutely blown away. And I handed it to John, and then pretty soon we're all scraping with the one scraper. And then Hyde, it just so happened when that happened, Hyde sent me a box of these things. So these things are truly amazing. If you haven't scraped with one of these things, you got to scrape with one. So my lovely assistant, you got to see, I'm going to give away right now one of these and one of these right here to one of the lucky winners. So they're going to get this package right here, these 3 tools. The last winner will do the same thing, but I'll throw in a shirt. So, any other questions going on? So I don't know, you lovely assistant out there, you're going to have to text John's phone and give us a winner. Have you seen any other questions? Do you need to let that wood dry after blasting it?
You know, it's probably a good idea. We've, you know, if you're using a water-based product like Woodscapes, it's not completely necessary, and sometimes depending on the temperature, it's even preferred. You know, for me, I would probably let it dry so that we could blow it off to get any other residual glass or you know, whatever abrasive we're using and any of the dust off of it, just to help keep it nice and clean and give us a good substrate. But
so we have a winner, Dave Zapper. Dave Zapper, you're the winner of that. So my lovely assistant wanted me to remind you that she's my wife. So my lovely assistant that just selected the winner, she's my lovely wife too. She's my office manager, business manager, marketing manager. Office manager of B&K Painting, and the business manager, marketing manager for the Idaho Painter. She does an amazing job.
yeah.
So somebody said Rubball is stain Rubball is the very best. We're gonna have to look that up.
I've never heard of
R-U-B-B-O-L, Rubball. Oh. So the question John was just answering about water-based, we use almost all water-based stains, semi-transparent and solid colors. And when we're doing fences, I like the fences to be wet. I like to power wash them. To me, the most ideal situation is to power wash them, go off and do something, then come back and stain them when they're still damp, because it gives you more working time with the stain, and the fences look way better if they're still damp. With the log home, like John says, I think I'd like this thing to dry more, so we could blow off some more of this media and clean off the media versus it being wet. But that is one of the nice things. If you're using an oil-based product, this thing needs to be completely dry. If you're using a water-based product, it doesn't have to be 100% dry, but I think you'd want it to be dry so you can clean it really well.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got the sun is like blasting on the side of my head now. I wish Graco would send me a sprayer. That was some total project. Eric, that brush I saw is nice also. It's an awesome brush, that brush I just showed. Rudy A, please send me the brush, thanks. So David Zapper, a good sanding is required before recoat, and a pro painter will test it says comparability, probably compatibility.
For the sickens that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, but you know, it's just, I have a hard time with products that don't interact well with other products. And the sickens just, and that's just me. I think it's a great product too, but I don't know if I'd want to use it.
See, somebody says Lisa rocks. That's cool.
Lisa
Thank
does
you.
rock.
Yeah, she does an amazing job. Running two corporations. Let's see, Ronaldo Dos Santos. He's in the house, kind of cool. Jenny Tootin, lovely assistant. Pick the girl. Let's see, Ian Johnson. Now probably costs more to ship prizes to Belfast than the cost of the tools. That's true. We've actually, there's been One of the things I gave away was a roll of those brush things that covered your rollers and brushes, and I think it cost me $35 to send it off. But it's not a, it's I get the stuff sent to me, you know, for free, and then I got to turn around and ship it out. But this is all about giving back to you guys for supporting my channel and stuff. And so all this stuff that I get sent, I could use it, I could throw it in my vehicles and stuff, we could use it, but I like to give it back to you guys so you can test it. I really like it if you guys would test it and come back and get on my YouTube channels or get on here and tell me what you think of it and stuff. So give your own reviews of it. But just a way to say thank you and give you guys something, you know, for being part of the show and being part of our YouTube channel. Let's see, Big Daddy Raz, I want the package. Let's see, congratulations. Let's see, LT Warrior, Permachink is the premier products for log homes. Permachink. My house had Sikkens originally, big mistake. Paid 12 grand to have it blasted off. If you really want the best for logs, you will buy Permachink. That's interesting. So that's from LT Voyager. That'd be, if you could send me a picture of your cabin, I would love to see.
That'd be awesome.
That.
Yeah.
Let me get this thing in the shade. If you could send us a picture of your cabin, we'd love to see it, and love to see what the product looks like now too. And we'll definitely be looking up that product. So they were unhappy with the Sikkens, but really like Permachink. So I'll be looking at that up. So let's see, we got. Let's see, Mr. Zapper, Mr. We know you are lovely assistant. Same for Dex. Let's see. Scroll down here. Phil Godfrey. We got somebody about Losef Neshua. I wonder where, if you guys, we're here doing this once again in kind of in the middle of the day here while we're working. We took off, we're working. The guys are still working. We snuck away to do this live show. They didn't know it. So we just wanted to give the opportunity for other people, other parts of the world. Let us know where you're from. It's pretty cool because I see some names here, people that might be, you know, from other parts of the world. We'd like to know, you know, where you're from. So Chris, could you answer my previous question, Phil Godfrey? I'll scroll back up here and see if we can find it. It's really hard because we're using this little iPhone and the questions disappear. So Phil Godfrey, if you could try asking it again. Let's see. Could you use that rig on render or in your term stucco for mold removal?
I don't know if I'd use it for stucco or for mold removal. I think it'd be a little too abrasive for that. You're probably better with a chemical cleaner, bleach, or some sort of mixture to get rid of that. Yeah,
because I would think like stucco or something like that, even using a non-abrasive cleaner like soda. Well, you couldn't use soda on this. So yeah, I would think like stucco, if you threw in even some number 70 glass, just for taking out mold, it would like, oh my gosh.
You know, although, you know, we can, because you can operate, you know, we have 185 CFM air compressor, and it'll put out a lot of PSI, but you can dial this thing all the way down to 30 PSI. So, you know, it may work, and that may be something we have to try out. We don't get a ton of mold here in Boise just because it's so dry. We don't deal with the same kind of things that some of you guys deal with in other parts of the country. But, you know, it's a possibility, but we just haven't tried it out.
We got a lot of people on here telling us that Sikkens is the way to go. So it's interesting. We're going to be looking up that Sikkens and that Rubal, and then the other one was the Permachink. We looking those up. Yeah. If you guys got any tips, tricks, blasting, we're here once again talking about our vapor media blaster that we're using from Graco and staining cabins and log cabins up here. We're up here in Donley, Idaho, working, and this is my cabin, but we're working up here at a bunch of job sites. We're up here doing quite a few jobs. So let's scroll down here and see a good sanding. Let's see, we've already seen that. Ready Seal has worked really well for me. Ready Seal. It doesn't last the longest, but it is super easy and fast to recoat. Ready Seal. So that's another one. We've got a lot of good recommendations for products we'll be looking up. Yeah. So once again, we're going to got some people that even showed up here from England. Going to be heading to July 4th, heading to the UK, England, to visit Lucas Pro Tools and get a tour of how they make those $100 brushes and visit the owner, Danny Lucas, which is really cool. So, and see how they do painting over there. So it's going to be pretty exciting to learn, how other people, because I know over there it doesn't seem like airless spraying is that big over there yet. So over here, how much airless, when we're painting the house, how much do you think is airless spray versus brushing and rolling, the exterior of the house?
In an exterior, the majority of the square footage ends up getting sprayed because we're spraying the whole body, but a lot of the trim, that said, we're doing a lot of back brushing and before and after, and all the trim is typically done by hand, but it's probably 50-50, give or take, maybe a little bit more heavily weighted towards airless spraying, but we're working on an exterior.
So we got Ian Johnson wants to know what any upcoming jobs that we got with this thing. I know we're going to be doing a deck with it. We're going to do an ironwood deck with it here. We're going to be doing a deck down in Boise. Up here we used it to remove some soot. We're working on a log home. We're going to do the ironwood deck. I'm going to try it on a metal roof, a small metal roof. We're going to be testing it out on that. But there's, I think did you talk about the opportunities of what we could?
Yeah.
There's so many different things you can
get
use it for.
creative with it. Yeah, and it's a huge time saver. When you think about all the time you're going to spend scraping or sanding something versus being able to pull this thing out, set up, do a better job with it, I think, in the long run as far as getting down to a really good, clean substrate, and do it in way less time with fewer guys. And let's be honest, I hate sanding, and
Yeah.
I would guess most of you hate sanding too.
Yeah.
And but it's what needs to be done has to be done. But it's
So
great.
I have another really great thing for this thing is iron fences, and I got an iron gate that is rusty and stuff, and so we're going to be using garnet on the iron gate. So the garnet is great for removing like powder coated finishes and stuff, and removing rust and stuff. So that's another thing you could be using it for. See, I have to go bid a job. Great seeing you guys. Hey, see you later, Eric Willen. Thanks for being on the show. Should be getting pretty close to being done. Junior Sanchez, that would be a good question for an accountant. We are an S Corp. Oh, that's my own. That's not a question. What brand paint do you think is the best? Greets from Holland. We got somebody from Holland now. Pretty cool. Really cool, man, to see all the different people that showed up today from all the different places. Let's see, we got hello from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. God bless you guys. Keep up the hard work. Thank you very much. That's from Pedro Zavala. Let's see. I'm going to give away. Let me see what time it is here. It's 3:18. What time? We started at like 2:07. What time did we?
Wasn't paying attention.
Hey boss, text us what time we started. How much time do I got left? I think we should be wrapping this. We'll wrap it up here. I'm going to give away one more thing. We got people taking off to work. We're going to be wrapping this show up. If you got any questions, fire off your questions that you got. We're going to give away one more. We're going to give away a gooseneck, one of the most amazing brushes or tools. Probably one of my top 5 favorite tools that have ever been invented in painting. It's the bendable brush that hooks on an extension pole, and I used it on a cabin, the gable end of a cabin, just 2 days ago, painting the gable with a 8-foot extension pole, which we couldn't reach from a ladder. So it's kind of cool. And then the amazing Hyde X2 scrapers. Neither one are Hyde. These are both from Hyde, and they don't pay me to promote their products. They never paid me a dime. They send me stuff to give away, which is really cool, so I can give it to you guys. And so this and a Paint Life t-shirt, we're gonna send. This is Paint Life right here. If you interested in my shirts and hats, they're available on my website, the Idaho. Jenny Tootin is the winner, 210. Congratulations, Jenny. You're gonna get a Paint Life shirt and the gooseneck and the scraper. So thank you very much. I think Jenny was on the last show, I believe, with us. So thanks for showing up, Jenny, and participating. Once again, my Paint Life gear is available on my website. I got a shirt and hat store there if you're interested in purchasing it to help support the making of the videos and stuff. So I guess I don't have to stick to the hour thing because I'm kind of like in the mode of the Monday thing. My Monday shows every Monday. If you don't know, if you showed up here and you didn't know, I got a show every Monday at 7 p.m. Monday night Mountain Time, U.S. time at 7 p.m. So we'll see what I try to answer a couple more questions, and then we're gonna fire off and go back to work and pretend like the guys we were just off working and everything. Let's see. I have 4 different Festool sanders and the middies. So you were Festool, you said it was awesome.
I've heard great things about Festool. You know, we haven't tried anything from them. I've heard they're really good. I've heard they're really pricey. I've looked up, they're really pricey, but I've heard their dustless sanding is pretty amazing.
So we got Danny's painting contractor. He's from Chicago. Wants to know when we're going to come. I would love to come to Chicago. So I actually talked to my wife. Some people asked if I think it was Canada, and I was like, I think they were willing to fly us there, and I was like, that'd be a great idea if some people would fly me and a couple guys or something, or my wife or whatever, to show up there, and we would get to go travel, to wherever they're from, and then work with them on the job site for a day and teach them how to walk through, painting an exterior.
And every region's so different. There's stuff we can learn from different regions, just because we don't deal with some things where we're at because of the kind of houses that are built and what they're built with and the weather we deal with. And there's a lot of questions I feel like that come up because it's totally different in Florida than it is in Idaho. Yeah.
We're just these Idaho boys up here aren't exposed to a whole lot. So we got one last question then we're gonna wrap it up, say out for the day. Jason Enke, any idea why new paint would peel from new sheetrock primed with PVA primer using Promar 200 paint? I have an idea why. Let me see what you think.
My first thing to do is I'd look at the paint that's peeling and see what's on the back of it. Typically when we see that, we see dust. Something wasn't dusted properly or cleaned properly, either before the PVA or something got on it after the PVA.
It's a good question. So he touched on exactly where I was going to go with this, and my best guess is the dusting, what we call is mopping. And even if you PVA prime the walls, and I don't know what texture was on these walls up here, if it's a level 5 finish or what's really popular is Sun Valley texture. If it's a Sun Valley texture, and it's pull sanded, and those walls are extremely dusty. You take your hands and just wipe the walls, and you just got tons of drywall dust. Even if you spray a PVA primer on that stuff, all that dust on there, your PVA primer is still more than likely not going to bond, and that's going to peel off. So you do what we call mopping the walls, and that's literally taking a dust mop, and we use ones that are this wide, and it's just dry. It's not wet. We just take that thing and we mop the walls, and that knocks the majority of that dust off, and then you prime your walls with a PVA primer, and sometimes priming it, just thinning it with a little bit of water, will give you a little bit better absorption. And with the PVA primer, we typically wouldn't. We don't do a lot of new construction, or none anymore, because we can't stand it. But that is typically what we've seen is the majority of issues with the paint peeling off the wall. And you'll notice that as you'll go to stick some tape on the wall to mask something off or something, you pull the tape off and it pulls the paint right off. And you look on the back of your paint, and if it's dusty, got drywall dust on it, that's exactly why your walls weren't mopped. So there you have it. We're done for the day. We're going back out to work. Let's see, time to go, remind, giveaway, and live show in England. Sorry, our giveaway, we're doing giving away a Titan 440 for whoever's still on here, a Titan 440 airless sprayer. Go check out my website. I'm giving away that sprayer really soon. Time's ticking for you to go enter to win it. And there's a bunch of other products that you could win on my website, theidahopainter.com, so go check that out. We're going to have a live show in England when we're over in England, so that'll be Monday when I take off to England. We're going to be there for 5 days. If any of you are out there in the London area, it'd be really cool to meet up with you. I'll give you a Paint Life shirt, have a nasty warm beer with you. I'll ask for some ice cubes for mine, but anyways, it's really cool being in here. We got a bunch of people from other parts of the world. That's
pretty
really cool showing up. Hopefully we've answered some of your questions about the Graco EcoQuip that we're learning about and blasting with. And it's to me, it's going to be a really good money maker. If you're a painter out there looking to add a two-man crew that could make you some really good money using a vapor blaster or media blaster, there you have it. So we're going to start blasting the rest of this thing right now, aren't we?
Sounds good.
And I think I did it last time and got all dirty, so I think
I guess it's my turn
his
now.
turn. See you everybody. Ow.